Hello and welcome back. I'm Dr. Nicola and this is Aspen Talks Health, where we discuss alternative healing modalities and how to show up more compassionately for yourself, the environment, the people around you, and the animals that we share this planet with. Today with me is Karla Hope Miller. She is an astrologer and a sonic alchemist. She is absolutely a gem to this community in Aspen, and she's also the founder of Native Flower Design, and she helps her clients with feng shui from the inside out. Welcome, Karla.
Hello, Nicole. So nice to be here.
I am so happy you're here because you really have a special talent that I'm excited to share with the community.
Me too.
Thank you. So let's jump right in. You specialize in astrology. How does it work? Can you tell us how the date and time and place of your birth plays a role in your personality?
Sure. So, Nicole, at the time that you take your first breath, you look up in the sky and you take a snapshot of where the planets are. And those planets are always pushing and pulling on us. We know what the moon does to us on a 15-minute basis, half-hour basis, a month's basis. And our body is made up of 75 to 85% water, And so knowing that there is so much pull and push, and the moon is really based on our emotional body. So, and each planet has an energy base behind it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about those?
So if you have the sun, right? Your sun is your spirit. That's how we show up in this world. Our moon is our emotional body, and it's our essence. It's the soul. It's what they would say, if you believe in reincarnation, it's what passes on to the next life. It's what it comes here to learn. Mercury is the way that your mind thinks. So wherever these planets are on your birth chart is how you relate to the world. So there's Venus. Venus is how we love. It's what drives us. Where Mars is where it's the warrior. It's what we fight for. And so depending on if, what sign it's in those 12 signs will determine how you really show up. Say Saturn. Saturn is our life lesson that we come here for. It's what we promised we would come down here and work on. And Pluto is where we have our biggest transformations. So wherever Uranus is where there's the biggest awakenings.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And when you say where it is, are you talking about where it lands? There's houses, right? There are 12 houses?
Correct. There's 12 houses.
Okay.
And there's 12 signs. So depending on, and then you also have your rising sign. And the rising sign comes from the time of your birth. That is so incredibly crucial. Because where those planets are, and where they are in the sign, and where they are in the house, really drives you to either speak, like, for example, on your chart, is that where your biggest part, where your Saturn is in communication, and it's in the house of Leo. So you're the one that is supposed to shine and speak to the collective. So the work that you're doing here is so perfect for you, because it's where your life lesson is also.
Yeah, it was fascinating. So we did a session together, and it was so interesting to me how exactly what was showing up was exactly what I'm really working on, and this is the first time in my life where I feel completely in alignment. And I know I'm on the right path. And it was fascinating to see that the chart kind of that demonstrated it, right?
Well, and it was also what is transiting. So the inner circle here is where the planets were when you were born. The outer circle here is where the planets are right now, today. I printed that up right before I came here. And so, like today, last night was the full moon into today. So it's in the house of Virgo. So our emotional body is kind of pretty judgmental right now. And it also wants to be in service. So as you see where the planets are, and when we had our session together, it was a perfect time for you to really awaken
Yes.
and get to work.
Yeah.
And you did your homework quite rapidly.
Yeah,
So I'm really, really proud of you.
Well, you sent me home with some homework, and one of the first things on the list was to control my impulsiveness, which was such divine timing, because the night before I had gone out and partied, and I woke up feeling terrible, and the normal hangover scenario, and that day I decided, that's it, I'm done.
Yep.
And then to come in to talk with you, and the first thing on my recommendation list is to control my impulses, was really interesting.
And it's really getting the body back into alignment. And the beautiful thing about a birth chart is it's really our map of who we are. It really allows us to look at why, like, I have a confession. I have no air. And I have no fire in my chart.
Yeah.
So it's really hard for me to sit here and to talk.
Yeah.
But I've got so much water, so it's that emotional, and it's also that mystic. That's why it works for me. That's why this work works for me.
Yes.
Is I can understand the mystic, but it's hard for me, believe it or not, to get up on stage and to communicate. So, but you also look at my North Node.
Yeah.
North Node is the head of the dragon. And it's where you're going in this lifetime. And I'm a Gemini, so it's that person that needs to communicate, it needs to teach, it needs to investigate, it needs to go to school, it needs to, all those things.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and mine was all fire.
All fire. Fire in the hole. Here she goes.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
So it's easy for you to show up.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Well, I wouldn't say I also have some nerves, but but it's such a driver that I can't resist it.
Yeah.
Like, I had to do this show.
Yeah.
It wasn't a choice, almost.
And remember, is that's where your life lesson is communicating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a part on there about spreading compassion, which is one of my missions.
Remember exactly.
It was somewhere. Yeah, it was something like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fascinating what showed up. So yeah.
Super fun.
How have you seen this work help other people?
Well, it's been profound. It's people with depression, people with relationship problems, people that have had problems with the way they were brought up. I mean, you really start to connect the dots, and as you're visiting with someone, looking at their astrology, okay, is that the dialogue comes out, and it allows them to fall in love with themselves. And that's what the roadmap is about. And we were talking about earlier, is that the elements there's fire, air, earth, and water.
Yes.
And for a little child that has a lot of water, you want to nurture that child. You want to hold that child. That child that has a lot of fire in his chart is you want that kid out, and you want him running around, and you want to poop him out.
Yeah.
And that earth, that someone who has a lot of earth they want to have things clean, they need to have things organized. And a child with a lot of air, or a person with a lot of air, they need to talk. You need to just sit and listen to them.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just really allows you to say, gosh, no wonder why I'm like that, and be okay with that part of yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
One part you suggested I have to be okay with is that I need reassurance.
Yep.
So as an Aries, that's my common sign. We are natural born leaders.
Yeah.
But I absolutely need someone to pat me on the back and say, you're doing a good job.
Right.
I need that.
And a lot of that comes from your moon sign.
Okay.
Right?
Leo, right?
So, yeah. And it's like you need to be that patted on the back. That's that fire. Like, you're great. You've done a great job.
Yeah.
And that water sign, you just need to hold them and love them. So it all depends. It really gives you the tools to understand yourself.
Right, and to ask for what you need. So
Absolutely.
If I had a partner, to say, sometimes I need the reassurance.
Yep.
I get needy, for sure.
Yeah.
Even though, but from the outside, it doesn't look like I need any reassurance.
No. But that's where that moon sign comes in, because that's the unconscious. The moon is the unconscious. It's the essence of what really drives you. as a person.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to skeptics that kind of see this work as the terms used are so general that they can kind of apply to all of, you know, sometimes I'm feisty, sometimes I need to just be listened to. How does it work?
You know, if you're a believer, you're a believer. You know, if you, you know, it's been around for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, the stars guide us, point blank.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we cross the oceans. And you know, it was funny because I was listening to a bunch of astrology on my way here today, and is that with this Mercury Retrograde that's coming up, is that they say that this is going to be a big whammo, so make sure to download all your computers and back them up, and because it's going to be a big retrograde. And if you don't know what retrograde is, okay, is that they say that a planet's going backward. It's not that it's going backward, it's just slowing down. And the Earth is passing it much faster. So it gives us those times. Any planet that is in retrograde, it gives us the time to slow down in our minds. Remember, Mercury is the way our mind thinks. So it's time to kind of slow down and look at where we're really going from here on out. I mean, this is such a potent time right now on our planet for everyone. It's not just in the United States. You know, all these planets are in Capricorn. So Capricorn is it rules the governments. So there's been so much transformation going on, you know, all the way back to Obama. And so Pluto is death and transformation, and it's in the house of Capricorn. So there's all this transformation going on.
Interesting.
And Saturn, our life lesson, is also there. And today, and for the next couple weeks, is that Venus is right in between the two of those. And so there's a lot of that, you know, like us being comfortable in how we love and how we give forth and where we're going.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's really powerful time. So it's really asking us to really stay grounded in these next couple years because of Capricorn. It's like slow down, like really think about your actions before you respond, and come from a loving heart.
Yeah.
For sure. That's what Venus is asking us to do, is to come from a loving heart.
I love that.
Yeah.
Was there something on your chart that you wanted to share?
Boy.
You printed it, so I was thinking maybe there's something on there.
Yeah, that's interesting. So let's see. This is something that's really I think very, very, very important for everyone, is that Chiron is the wounded healer. Okay, Chiron just left Pisces, and it's now going into Aries. So it's that warrior inside of ourselves. This is it's like the last 7 to 11 years, there's been this big wounding, but there's so much of it's letting go inside of ourselves right now. And now we're really, you know, the warrior is really going to start healing if you choose to heal. And all this karmic imprinting that we came in with is sloughing away. And like all that cellular level that has been imprinted on us, all that karmic that we hold on to, you know, the story that we always repeat on ourselves, is letting go. And you're a beautiful, fine example of that.
Thank you. I really feel that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah. And I think that that's the most powerful thing about this work, is that using the tuning forks and using the singing bowls and using the gongs, is it realigns the body. And when you look at the chart, is that each house has a governing vessel, a governing organ. And it's just like in Chinese medicine and acupuncture, is you have meridians in the body.
Yeah.
And so, and whatever is usually transiting is the birth chart is where we will normally put those tuning forks to get the energy or the blockages moving again so that the body functions in a more balanced manner. Just as in feng shui, is that it's all about balance. You can't have a heavy, wood house. You got to balance it out with the feminine and the masculine.
Yeah.
It's the same thing within the body. It's the balancing of the feminine and the masculine within.
I love that.
Yeah.
Before we get to the, I want to definitely go to how this is the sound healing. But I'm curious, if something doesn't show up on your chart, does that mean it can't be in your, like, for example, there was nothing on relationships in my chart.
Right.
Does that mean I'm destined to not have a man?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Not at all.
Good.
But,
Good to
it's, it was, I think, that we were looking at, mine's looking at there right now. Let me just poke my head really quick.
Yeah,
is that, so, it's interesting. So, you say relationship, right?
Yes.
So usually kind of wherever your Mars is usually the kind of man that you would want.
Okay.
So it would be another Leo.
For sure.
Okay? With it being in the house of Leo, Mars is in the second house, and probably, he'll probably have some money or have a lot of value. Second house is about material things.
Okay.
And he'll probably show up in a really big way.
Huh.
So, but the seventh house is Capricorn, right? So it's probably going to be someone that's very grounded also. There's not a lot of, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so even if it's not showing up at this moment,
Right. Yep.
It's just not the timing, which...
I think too, when we were doing your chart,
Yeah.
you had so much work to do so many other places.
Yeah.
But I think too that once you, and we've talked about this, is that once you got grounded and you started functioning and you were nice and solid, I think you said the men started flooding in.
They have been in the last 2 weeks. I shouldn't announce.
You're right.
But yeah, no, it did. There was a big shift.
And I think it really comes down to, Nicola, is that it's finding the balance within.
Yeah.
And when we're off kilter, right, and we don't understand who we are and what we want and what we bring to the table and where we're soft on some other places.
Yeah. For me, it was when I stopped with the alcohol and the marijuana that I found an inner sense of real strength and power, and I think that is now being exuded and probably attracting a different quality.
And I think too, Nicola, is that when we smoke and when we drink, we're hiding that part of ourselves that we really don't want to look at. And it numbs that part.
Yeah.
It's that shadow part of ourselves.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing that the energies are asking of us right now, is to look at that inner child that is wounded.
Yeah.
And looking at those shadows, those parts we don't want to look at, the things we don't want to admit.
Right.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't like that I don't want anybody to know about that part of myself.
Right.
But you want to bring that in. You want to lift the carpet up, pull it out, and fall in love with that part of yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm okay. I'll take care of the little child.
Right.
I'm a big girl now.
Yeah.
I'll take care of you. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, for me also it was numbing the inner critic. That was a big part of it.
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like to have fun, but I've
Me
now
too.
learned I could have fun without it.
Yeah,
I've had a blast the last 2 weeks. And I woke up the next day and I could have a full day of work and exercise and a great time. So, okay, let's switch to the sound healing. Can you share how this works? How do the tuning forks work?
So it goes, it goes so back so far, is that music is, it's energy. Everything is energy. The heat on a candle is energy. Our voice, it's that I love you. I think you're incredible. Have a beautiful day. It's all, your voice, the singing bowls, the gongs, all of that is energy to get the energy moving in the body. The tuning forks is vibration. It's moving the energy in the body. It's releasing what no longer serves us.
Yeah.
And us, saying those affirmations, as you breathe in, is breathe in love, breathe in joy.
Yeah.
And exhale what it no longer serves me. It's letting go.
Yeah.
And so when we give sound journeys and we work privately with people doing their astrology chart, and we look at that dialogue that no longer serves you, as I am applying the forks to the body or playing the singing bowls, as I'm saying those affirmations that we talked about, just thought is strong enough. It's that gift of prayer, and we all know the gift of prayer works.
Yes.
So
I will tell you, since our session, I have not had a single day of chest pain. And I was experiencing chest pain every single day before. And I thought it was related to the diabetes, because high blood sugars causes your blood to be thicker. So I thought it was just muscular heart. But I think it was a lot more energetic, me carrying around hurt and an inner child that was hurt.
Yeah, totally.
And this really helped me heal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, and I really feel that, people are overtaking the pill.
Yes.
And that it's time for us to, and that's what Capricorn is about, is the old paradigm doesn't work any longer. The old government doesn't work any longer. It's breaking down. Our health care system is not working. Our school system is not working. So it's us learning how to do it differently in this new paradigm. And it's us all taking responsibility for ourselves to know what goes in our mouth.
Yes.
Our food we take, what comes out our mouth, what goes into our brains.
Right.
And so much of this thought sometimes are only thoughts. Those are just passing clouds sometimes. So it's really putting the observer hat on.
Yes.
And, So as far as like the self-healing, and I know we've talked about this before, is I will never say that I'm a healer ever, because it's the person that is laying on the table or the person that's sitting there in meditation at a sound bath that is the healer. And that's what we need to really relay to people, is that it's your job to heal yourself.
Yeah.
It's all of these chronic pains, the fibromyalgia, just all those things, the rheumatoid arthritis, that is like intake of food and just inflammation. And I'm going through it right now.
Yeah.
And it's me, it's this, this candida thing that's all been going around, and that's inflammation.
Right.
And these are only things that knock on our door to make us pay attention.
Right.
Cancer, all these things. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We have a few minutes left. Will you play some of this? While you share, would you mind sharing where you have these amazing, so your setup is insane. So you have this
Thanks.
massage tables surrounded by these, how old gongs?
Well, it's not that they're old, but they hold the frequency of every planet.
Wow.
And so, and I built a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful barn, and I do private clients out of my barn, and been playing at True Nature,
Yes.
and doing retreats there, and then on occasion we'll do sound journeys at my own home. But I mostly do privates at my own home and looking at astrology and that. But yeah.
It was remarkable.
Thank you.
I did a Facebook post afterwards, and you could tell I was just on cloud nine. I could barely talk.
Yeah.
It was so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but you bring these gongs in from where?
They actually are made in Germany.
Okay.
And so...
but they look ancient.
Yeah.
They look like they're dug out of a...
Well, and they really... they bring the... it's like it brings out the wisdom.
Yeah.
And for me, the singing bowls bring out the cosmic. So it really connects, that real earth to the cosmic. Yeah. So.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And the tuning forks also?
They also have the frequency. So each, so like for example, this is Venus.
Yeah.
And this is Mars. And these are the ohm forks.
Okay.
So we will ground the feet first and get you grounded, and then we start applying the other tuning forks. And so there's 17 different kinds of tuning forks. And so each one of them carries a different vibration, just like the gongs will carry the vibration of the planet.
Interesting.
And it's just the same as in our musical instruments. It's all has a frequency.
And this helps to balance out the frequencies within.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Will you play a little bit?
Sure, I would love to. Add that with the gongs, and we will usually do from a 30 to 40 to an hour meditation. And it's just really profound because it allows the person to go through their journey.
Yeah.
Big time.
That's exactly what it felt.
Yeah.
I felt like I went on a total journey.
Yeah.
It was magic.
Mm.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
How can people find you?
I am at Native Flower Design, and then on Facebook it's Karla Hope Miller, Karla with a K.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Wonderful. Good. We'll put all that information on the website.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this amazing
thanks
work.
for having me.
It has. I can't wait to come back again. It was so incredible. It really was really powerful. So, as always, you guys, check out aspentalkshealth.com. We'll put up Karla's information. And make sure you subscribe so that you get notified of the upcoming interviews and then more articles and details of research that I do on healing, sound healing, and different topics that I love to research personally. And then, of course, I share some personal journeys that I don't share with everyone else on other formats. So make sure you subscribe on aspentalkshealth.com. And thank you guys very much for tuning in.